because some people within his organization did not want him to attend Cosatu's much-anticipated Central Executive Committee meeting today in Johannesburg. The meeting is expected to discuss the actions of its General Secretary, Zwelinzima Vavi, who has admitted to sleeping with a junior staff member. We are joined now on the line by Sadtu's suspended President, Thobile Ntola. Very good morning to you, and thank you very much for speaking to us.
Morning.
Could you please explain to us the charges that you faced as a result of your suspension, or perhaps how you were informed of your suspension?
I'm suspended on two grounds, as they said. I was there part of the meeting when I was suspended. One was said that as the president of the organization, that's what they are arguing, that I'm the custodian of the Constitution, which I guess they are actually raising it as they wish, when it is actually convenient for them. That I was not supposed to have allowed Vavi to speak in Port Elizabeth. Yet I had nothing to do who had invited Vavi. The only thing I appreciate as a president of the organization is only when I see that in a meeting there are components of the alliance being invited, and I don't at times usually care who is there from which level, because it's not my task to invite people to come to attend the meetings. For that matter, in that meeting, it was not Vavi. There was also Stone Sivan, who's an of the ANC, whom they seem not to be worried about. That's the first ground that I was not supposed to have allowed.
And when you, just to clarify, Mr. Ntola, who was part of the meeting? What meeting was it? And when you say they, who are you referring to?
I'm talking about the NEC. The NEC is composed of 8 office bearers, including myself, and 9 provinces, chairperson and secretaries.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, I'm elected by the members of the organization, about 250-something thousand members in the Congress. And one thing certain is that not a single one of them in that meeting had a mandate of suspending the president. It actually states how in crisis of democracy in our organization generally. Because not a single one of that meeting could then say that as they were leaving their province, they were given that mandate. They have just done what they wish and actually undermine the wishes of the members as they were given in the Congress. So that's one thing they have actually done. The second one was the fact that I was not supposed to have responded to media. When I was asked what do I think about the presence of Vavi, have we lost confidence or gained confidence? And I said that in the struggle and revolution, we don't usually, of course, in memorial, lose confidence on living human beings. And I then stated that there are many issues confronting the workers and the working class, which some of them are beyond our eyes, which I think we are supposed to be looking at. Those are the things I stated. And that's what actually they are suspending me for.
So
I'm suspended on 2 counts on those two issues.
Were you issued with a written letter to that effect, and were the words spoken that you are now suspended as a result of these complaints?
It was said in that meeting as I was sharing that I'm suspended immediate effect, and then I therefore adjourned for a second meeting and left as a suspended person and give another person to share the meeting.
And is this in line with the Constitution of Sadtu?
I cannot say that this is in line with the Constitution of Sadtu, as I'm saying that not a single one of them has a mandate to go and suspend the president in that meeting. Even though the NEC, special NEC, was convened to discuss what becomes our posture in the meeting today of the Federation. That is what the meeting was convened for. And constitutionally, the meeting has to discuss the matter which has been convened for. The meeting was convened to discuss how do we discuss and how do we participate in the meeting of Cosatu today. That's what the NEC special was called for, not to suspend the president. So in my view, and I guess to the view of an ordinary member, an ordinary person, that NEC of a few people, of less than 1% of people who are supposed to handle the issue of organization, has acted frivolous.
All right. If you could just stay on the line, Mr. Ntola, because we're now on the line to the General Secretary of Sadtu, Mokoena Maluleka. Mr. Maluleka, very good morning to you, and thank you very much for speaking to us. Could you tell us whether or not you have suspended the President of Sadtu?
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners.
Good morning.
First is that I had indicated to those people who called me that, look, we have not issued any official communique around what the question you are asking me, and therefore we have indicated even since yesterday that we are not going to respond to anything that we have not put to the public, because we respect the internal processes of our organization. So that is the only comment I am prepared to make now. I am not having anything in front of me that is an official position that has been put to the public that I can respond to.
So that I understand what you're saying, so there is nothing that is in front of you or official documentation or correspondent that speaks to or of the suspension of the Sadtu president?
I am saying that I'm not going to comment on anything except that the meeting of the NEC did take place, and therefore we are still going to be communicating. So that is the only thing that I can do. We have to respect our internal processes, because we have to ensure that at all material times the constitution of Sadtu are being upheld, and therefore that is what I'm trying to do now.
Okay, but was there any communication with Mr. Ntola about any suspension or any intention to suspend him?
It's an internal matter.
So you're saying, was there any communication?
I'm saying it's an internal matter, so I am not going to be able to comment on that on the media. It's an internal matter. That's how we conduct our business in Sadtu. Okay,
well, I'm glad that Mr. Ntola is still with us. Mr. Ntola, what is your response to this?
No, it's to him. It's an internal matter. I'm a suspended person, and now I'm responding to clarify you as you're asking on my behalf as a person. They started as me. I'm suspended president. Now I'm Thobile Ntola, the member of Sadtu, whom is suspended, who is aggrieved because we have a feeling that she's been suspended even unconstitutionally. I don't know to what extent that constitution is respected when a few people can just meet in the corner and suspend a person without a mandate and convene that meeting, which is not for that purpose, and to take that decision.
Because I want to get clarity on this. According to what Mr. Maluleka is saying, that he has nothing in front of him, or he is not cognizant of anything that speaks of or to your suspension. Are you contradicting that?
No, he knows himself, but he's saying that he's not going to talk on the matter. He's still communicate. I know because I was part of that. I left the meeting because I was suspended in that meeting.
Just your thoughts on what this means for Cosatu going forward, and how this will impact on the Central Executive Committee meeting that's set to take place later on today.
I guess in my view that there are many possibilities of what could happen in the Federation today. There are those who have been, of course, looking for the blood and heart and head of Zwelinzima Vavi. And there are those who have been defending, who have a view that Vavi is actually one of the fighters of the Federation of workers in this country, and who have been defended, and who believe that, yes, he might have committed a mistake, and who are happy that he has actually apologized. There are those who have that view, and who feel that judgment of error can be pardoned and ensure that Federation is moving forward and not restored like it is. There are those who want him out because they think that Federation should actually be the labor desk of the government, and so it must not take up issues. There must be one line of thought in the country. And I think that today everybody is watching with interest of what is going to take place.
What is your view? Because you've been labelled as a staunch supporter of the General Secretary, and you yourself have spoken to us about the contents of this NEC meeting, in which you were lambasted, as you say, for allowing the General Secretary to speak. What is your view about what is happening to Zwelinzima Vavi, and whether or not he ought to be defended? And is it on a principial matter, or are you defending the individual, the leader?
Before he says this view, as I have indicated, can I be allowed to do my work? Because I'm not part of that debate that is going on the media now. I think with due respect, I had indicated that to those who called me that I have nothing to comment, and I think that you have heard my view. So please, before
Mr. Maluleka, is that you?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Maluleka, I actually was not in any way posing that question to you, so it surprises me that you have volunteered to take part in a debate that you were not invited on. So I'll go back to Mr. Ntola and ask the question where you stand on the issue of the General Secretary of Cosatu and whether or not he ought to be defended. And if he is being defended, is it on a principial matter, or should he as a leader, as an individual, be defended?
I think on this case, I have a sense that every person must be given an opportunity to defend himself. When a person has actually wronged anything or contravened anything, should be given an opportunity. And Combat Vavi is not necessarily above such processes. He should be treated fairly. People should listen to his apology, which he has tendered, and actually deal with him as they used to deal with those matters, and look on the broader picture.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is the suspended, as you say, president of Sadtu, Thobile Ntola.